Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up React Redux. So let's create an empty Vite project, and if you already have, skip this part. I'm going to use React for this, for now JavaScript. Let's go to the project, open this into Visual Studio. Now let's install Redux and Redux Toolkit. Just copy this, run this. Till then let's run our project and see what we have. Let's install the dependencies first. Now let's try to run our project. So we have an empty Vite project with the default code. So let's try to set up the Redux. We have already installed it. Let's create a Redux store. Just copy this and click on new file and paste this. This will create an app folder inside SRC and a store.js file. It has created an app and store.js. Now just copy this and paste this. Now we need to wrap our app. So to do that, just come here, use them, copy it, make sure app is inside the provider, and make sure you import them from the correct place if you are defining it somewhere else. Now let's create a slice. Again, just copy this. This will create a features folder inside SRC, and inside it will create a counter folder, and it will create a counter slice.js file. Just copy this. Make sure you're into root directory while you do it. Paste it. It has created features, counter, and inside it counter slice.js. Now we need to set up our slice. So it has given us an example to how to set up a slice. Let's copy it and I will explain it. Just think of it as an object. It is creating a slice. This will be an object. So this is the name of the object, and this is the data which it consists. And the reducers will be the functions that helps us to update the data. So it has given us a brief description about it. So we don't need this, we can just remove it. You can define as many functions here as you want. Just make sure you define your reducers inside here. And now what it's doing is just exporting these functions, these reducers, so we can use them in our project. And it's exporting this slice. Make sure your reducers are exported this way and the slice is exported this way. Now we just need to add this slice to our store. So to do that, you can see this example. Let's try to copy this, paste it inside our reducer. We need to import it. We have defined it from the name of counter slice. So make sure it's counter slice here, and let's try to auto import it. And this should be coming from features, counter, and counter slice. So you can define as many slices here you want, and just make sure to add them here. Now let's try to use these slices. To use the state, you can use something called use selector. Let's try to use this into our app. So it has a use state defined here. So instead of this, we are going to use it with Redux. So use selector will help us to get the state from the Redux. So what we are getting is we are getting the state, and from state we are getting counter dot value, which is, now we are exporting counter, and this is value, counter dot value. To update the state, we need to use something called use dispatch, which is a hook provided by Redux. Let's import it here. Now we can replace this set count with this increment. What it's doing is it's incrementing the count by 1. So let's replace this with this. And we need to import the increment function, which is coming from here. It's just adding one value to the initial state. Let's see if it's running fine. It's working fine. Let's double check if it's working with Redux. So as you can see, it's calling the increment function and the current value is 4. Let's try to use another functions. Let's just replicate the button, and instead of incrementing, we will now use the decrement function. Just make sure you import it. Let's just mention we are decrementing from here. Now we have decrement count. Let's click on decrement. It's calling the decrement function. Let's try another one so we can see how to pass the value. Let's copy this and just duplicate the button. Now in this one you need to pass a value which will be coming as an action. So what we'll be passing is, we'll be passing 10. You can pass objects array, but since we are using only one here, we can pass it directly and we'll call it increment by 10. And let's see if it's working. Let's click on this. See, it has incremented our value by 10. Let's try to decrement. Let's try to increment by 1. Increment, decrement. Let's try to increment by 10. And that's how you set up Redux in React. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next one.